I'm here, Slocum 23, you're joining me for Open Heart, second year, chapter 14, Snowball. I pace anxiously outside a closed office door on top floor of Edenbrook Hospital. After what seems like forever, the door opens and Zaid steps out. You catch a glimpse of Esme being interviewed inside what before he closes it. Zaid, what's happening in there? Esme made a terrible mistake in administering those painkillers. Mr. and Mrs. Coates are likely to sue both Esme and the hospital. What would that mean for Esme? She doesn't come from money, she can't afford a lawsuit, let alone another debt. I'm afraid she'll have to find a way. What about the hospital? She's an intern who made a mistake. Will they stand by her? Casey, if this goes forward, I'm not sure there will be a hospital. What? But Mass Kenmore deal... That's not guaranteed yet, and a lawsuit for gross negligence could be the thing to scare them off. All because Esme made one mistake? You're a doctor. You know that better than anyone. Sometimes one tiny mistake can have huge consequences. It's true. It can cost a life. Troubled, you head to the cafeteria and almost run head first into Bryce. Whoa, are you okay? You kinda seem like you were sleepwalking there. Just distracted. Then the news Dr. Tanaka just gave me might change that. I get to take the lead on the, hemocorportectomy tomorrow. You're going to cut someone in half? I sure am. They've only performed about 600 of them worldwide. I'm gonna get a paper published on this one. Just you wait. That's great, Bryce. What's great? Sienna and her intern, Mitch, arrive behind you. Mitch hangs back as Bryce tells Sienna about his surgery. You notice a few of the other staff in the cafeteria looking at Mitch and laughing. On a coffee run, Poodle? Is that all you're allowed to do now? Good one. Speaking of, you want a coffee, Dr. Trin? Yes, please. Mitch joins the line of doctors waiting for the coffee. Oh, Poodle, you reeked. Did someone ask you to do your job again? What does puddle mean? I kept saying poodle. Shut up, I got dogs on the brain apparently. All the other interns started calling him that after I chewed him out after wetting himself over hard work. I guess it caught on. It's pretty funny and true. It sounds... mean. Why? Do you seriously think the guy who can't be bothered to set his own IV lines hasn't made fun of anyone else before? Maybe he has, maybe he hasn't, you don't know. It doesn't matter, this is a hospital, not a high school. It's no place for bullying. Mitch earned his reputation fair and square. If he doesn't want to be known as lazy, then he can put his hard work like everyone else. Try actually treating him like a human being, though. You don't throw him to the wolves just because he didn't do one thing right. Look at Mitch as he accepts 2 paper cups of coffee from the cafeteria worker. A pair of staff snickering loudly behind him. He's trying to ignore the snickers, but you can see it's getting to him. See, it's not right. You shouldn't make fun of anyone, regardless. You're doing your rounds when you spot a familiar face in the hall. Casey, must be my lucky day. What are you doing here? First official day of physical therapy. Walk with me? Gladly. The two of you continue down the hall towards the therapy rooms. Raph hums softly to himself as you go. So, Raph, how are you feeling? Still a little weak, and my coordination is all out of whack. I didn't just mean physically. I know, but overall I'm surprisingly good. I feel terrible about Danny and Bobby, obviously. We all do. Still, I get a second chance at life. I'm not gonna waste that. Raph stops short outside of the room, turning to you with a smile. This is me. Wish me luck, unless what? They said I could bring a friend or partner to help me learn the exercises, since I'll have to do them on my own time, too. Would you want to join? My brain's a little foggy. It would be good to have someone else helping me keep track of everything. Join Raph in his physical therapy session to help him recover, and see just how physical it can get. Yay! Guess since he broke up with his girlfriend, we have to go back with him? Question mark? Yeah, let's do this. How are you so enthusiastic about physical therapy? Maybe I'm just enthusiastic about spending time with you. You follow Raph into the physical therapy room where a young woman in sporty clothes greets you. Ah, you must be Raph, and you are... This is Casey. She's here to help me, or keep me company. Oh, sure, sounds good. Because it's your first session, I figure we'll go pretty light and easy. I'm thinking some Tai Chi to help you with your balance, and then some simple reflex work. Glance over her planned itinerary. You know, I've run sessions like this a dozen times. If you want, I can take Raph through it, and you can take a break. Oh, I mean... Trust me, I've got this. Are you sure? Oh yeah, believe me. I'm practically a Tai Chi master with how many times I've helped Mr. Landria with her stretches. Or Miss Landria. Well, I could use a cup of coffee. I'll be back in a half an hour. The trainer leaves you the plan and heads off. Raph turns to you with a grin. Well, okay, I wasn't expecting that. Don't get any ideas, Buster. We're doing the exercises. Grinning, Raph takes a spot on the exercise mat. You look over the trainer's plans. So it looks like they're concerned that the toxins may have caused some issues with your balance and reflexes. No, really? We couldn't got that through the last 2 books and what he said before this. Let's focus on balance first. Sit on your feet, stretch your hands up, and breathe deep. You demonstrate the pose and Raph copies you, mimicking your moves as you guide him through a Tai Chi form. Now raise one knee up, hold your balance. Raph moves into the pose, but he struggles to hold it, regularly dropping his foot down for support. You keep holding the pose. Exhale, inhale, hold. With a deep breath, you hold your pose for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look, I could do yoga, everyone. Opposite you see Raph continue to struggle, but he focuses on your gaze and manages to finally hold the pose. And with an exhale, gently slide your foot down. Raph does the same, and you smile at him. Great job, you nailed it. Raph smiles back, but there's a little uncertainty in his eyes. Yeah, a little harder than I would have thought. You're just getting started. You'll get there. Now, what do you say to a reflex test? Let's do it. You cross the room and pick up a small red ball as Raph settles onto a bench. Ready? Sure. You throw the ball in a gentle underhand toss. Raph catches it. Nice. You going easy on me, Casey. Don't get cocky. He tries to toss the ball back, but his aim is off and it sails to the other side of the room, bouncing off the wall. Shoot, that shouldn't have... It's called getting your coordination back, buddy. You're fine. You walk over, picking up the ball. It's okay. You can try again. Raph shakes his head angrily. It's tossing a ball across a room, something a kid can do, and I shouldn't have to try. You're recovering, Raph. It's gonna take some time, but you'll get there. He sighs heavily, his head slumping back against the wall. What if I don't? Raph? You walk over to sit by his side. My doctor said that there's a real risk the damage is permanent. Then I'll never get back to being the way I was. I tried to tell myself I could live that way, but my God, if I can't even toss a ball. I feel like for so long I defined myself by what I could do, and now if I can't do it anymore... Raph, whatever happens, you'll figure it out. We both know that when it comes to recovery, nothing in the future is certain. But what I am certain about is you. You're the most resilient person I know, Raph. No matter what life throws at you, you get back up and keep going. I know you'll get through this. He shakes his head. Right now, you seem like the resilient one. Are you really as okay as you seem? I'm taking it one day at a time, I guess. I haven't forgotten what happened, but I can't let myself dwell on it either. Maybe that's something I should consider. You want to know something? Well, boss reached out to me. Says they're open to me coming back as an EMT, if I'm still up for it. Is that why you're worried? That you won't be able to go back? A part of me is, yeah. But the other part of me that doesn't want to go back even if I could. Like, I got myself to accept that life was changing. And then it changed in ways I couldn't imagine. Welcome to life. I don't know what's scarier, the things that might go back to the way they were, or that they never can. Maybe instead you should try to see it like getting the best out of both worlds. You're a real optimist, you know, though. Takes one to know one. He leans over, wrapping an arm around your shoulders. Thanks. So, we should probably get back to training. Alright, Doc, if you insist. Raph gets up and the two of you run through a few more steps. Together you do more Tai Chi, stretch, lift some weights, and even end with some meditation. When you're all done, Raph grins your way. I should probably get going. I'm sure you've all kinds of other stuff you need to do. I do, but this was fun, Raph. It's always good to see you. He gives you a big hug, lifting you just a little off your feet. See you around? Always. Later, you make your way to the diagnostics office and catch Ethan's dad on his way out. Mr. Ramsey, did Ethan call you about Louise? He did. I'm on my way to see her now. I thought Ethan might want to join, but I guess I should have known better. I know how much it would mean to her. Could you talk to him? I was never any good at it. I'll try. Alan gives you a sad smile and continues down the corridor. You watch him go and then head inside. Reminds me of House. Good. I was about to page you. Come in. I just saw your dad. How's Louise doing? She's alive, presumably. I'm sure someone would let me know if that had changed. Ethan... I'm sure that's true. You're not gonna lecture me. No, you're a grown man, so's your mother. This is your family, Ethan. You get to decide how you deal with them. Thank you. She'll be gone by the time I get back anyway. Back from where? The team's required at Dagger Mountain Ski Resort in New Hampshire. The owner's an old friend. He was a guest in need of attention. There aren't any doctors in Dagger Mountain? The local doctors couldn't diagnose the problem, and he's afraid to move her without knowing more. We leave in a couple hours. Find someone to cover your patients. We may be there overnight. We head into the corridor and spot Elijah up ahead. You hurry up to him. Elijah, I'm glad I caught you. Can you take a few of my patients for the rest of the day? I'm going out of town on a case. Sorry, no can do. Sienna and I signed up for a skills lab this afternoon. You could try Jackie? Do you know where she is? Try the roof. She started hanging out there on her breaks. Oh, Jesus, has she turned into house? But it's freezing out. Don't ask me to try and understand Jackie. Step out on the hospital roof for parked helicopters. It's on the helipad surrounded by lazy pigeons. Jackie sits in a folding chair on the far side of the roof, staring out at the frigid city. Hey, Jackie. I have to head out of town for a diagnostics team case. Could you cover my patients for the rest of the day? I'll promise I'll... Sure. That was easier than expected. You take a seat beside her, rubbing your arms against the cold wind. It's not exactly the most relaxing place to spend a break. Jackie, what's going on? Why are you hiding up on the roof when it's freezing outside? It's a good place to think about what a garbage human I am. What are you talking about? Remember that woman we saw at the gas station? My former patient? She She wasn't broke when she came to me for treatment. You can't blame yourself for her medical bills, Jackie. No, but I can blame myself for prescribing her panacea medication. Was there a less expensive alternative you could have prescribed? Maybe. I knew panacea stuff would work, and that's as much as I thought about it. I see. If it worked, what's there to feel bad about? They do make some very important drugs, unfortunately. That's what I told myself, but now I'm starting to wonder if all the bonuses they were handing out clouded my judgment. Maybe having a little breathing room, just and passing the cost on to my customer and patients. Literally. Jackie, I understand why you did it. You've been so under pressure, I don't blame you for buckling and taking a little easy money. That's what's so damn evil about it. One panacea script instead of the cheaper option, and literally life wasn't so hard anymore. Nobody's gonna judge you for that. Maybe they should. Maybe I deserve to be judged for what I did to that woman and her child. And who knows who else. What are you gonna do about it? I wish I knew. I need to make things right. But I have no idea how. Panacea is a multinational corporation, and I'm just me. But don't worry about it. I'll figure something out on my own. I always do. It just seems like Jackie needs someone to help her work through this. Just to raise her spirits. Take Jackie out for lunch to help her find a way to make this right. And feel better. It's clear you've got a lot on your mind. Why don't we grab a bite and talk this out some more? I guess I should eat before I see more patients. I think what you meant to say is that sushi cures everything, including overwhelming feeling of guilt. I don't know about that, but some fatty tuna niggery does sound pretty good right now. You and Jackie head to a nearby sushi restaurant, taking a seat at the bar. Whoa, this place has every kind of fish I can think of. Hand raise here, who has never had real sushi? Listen, I've had really cheap sushi from like a grocery store. That's the closest I've got to sushi, okay? I told you this place was a hidden gem. We'll go nuts, this is on me. I earned all this panacea blood money. I might as well do something positive with it. Jackie, enough with the self-pity. If you want to buy my lunch, fine. But do it because you want to, not because of some imagined cosmetic debt. If you feel guilty, do something useful about it. So, tough love is an appetizer, then? Yeah, but that's finished now. Now, let's move on to the main event. I'm not sure I have the mental space to choose right now. Don't worry, I know just what we need. The chef takes your order, and before long, he hands you a giant platter of sushi. Wow, we didn't even get a choice in this. Sushi extravaganza! You really get me, Casey. That's true, which is why I wanted to give you a chance to tell me what's going on. I've never seen you this upset, Jackie. I don't want to complain, though. You've been through way more lately. Don't worry, pillars of society, us, are okay with, taking more on. It's okay. And I took some time and let myself grieve. You, on the other hand, seem to be bottling everything up inside. She sighs, nodding. It's just, I feel so powerless, I'll stop participating in their incentives, that's for sure, but beyond that, I don't know what to do. They're not the easiest target to take on. That's just it. How do you get back at a my god, tongue twist, multinational corporation? You could always put sugar in their car engines, frame a CEO for murder, stage a reverse heist. I actually would go with this one. Reverse heist. What is that even? It's when you break into their bank accounts, plant all kinds of money there is, so it looks like they've stolen it. And where am I gonna get all this money? Ideally, some unsavory criminal figures. Or a syndicate. Simple then. Always is. Jackie laughs, shaking her hand. You're ridiculous, Casey. What? You have a better idea? She bites her lip, thinking for a second, and then grins at you. I could put out a fake advertisements for Panacea Labs' newest product, cough syrup. Doesn't that exist already? Not like this doesn't. This cough syrup doesn't get rid of your cough, it gives you one. Perfect for when you're pretending you're too sick to go to work. Also, it tastes like cantaloupe. It's the little things. And here for a moment I thought she was going to take this seriously. I assumed wrong. Give credit where it's due, though. This one is all Declan. I'll make sure the ad buy shows that. Ingenious. No way it can fail. Alright, planning all around. Airtight planning all around. Now that all that's left is to decide what to do next. Presumably I'm keeping at least a little of the fake heist money for myself, right? It's only fair. Which means I'm home free, so how can I celebrate my immense and totally plausible triumph? A very good question. The way I see it, there's only one real option. Clearly you'll buy a gold toilet, become a life coach, found a juice bar empire. Kinda late in the game on that one, don't you think? This isn't any juice you're selling. It's food juice. Oh god, that was the stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my entire life. Ever wanted a chili dog or a Reuben? Hate chewing. Introducing food juice. It's liquid food. Actually, I could see the chili dog. The Reuben not so much, but the chili dog, yes. Going after Soylent Green, huh? Soon, the two of you are nearly falling on the floor with laughter. Finally, Jackie takes a long breath. If only it were that simple, huh? Excuse me? I pride myself on how needlessly complex all that was. Honestly, though, I know you'll find a way to move past this and make things right. You just need to take some time and pressure off of yourself. Thanks, Casey. I needed to hear that, and thanks for being there for me. All this Panacea stuff has really been getting in my head. I really needed this, if only to eliminate possibilities. Exactly, but only because I have absolutely zero hacking skills. She smiles at you, her face less drawn with anxiety than you've seen in months. Alright, bring it in. Going your arms wide, wrapping your friend in a tight hug, she exhales heavily. I wasn't gonna say I needed a hug, but I needed a hug. After a long moment, you release Jackie, looking at her with a satisfied smile on your face. Together, you make your way through the rest of the food, talking happily with each other until it's time to head back to the hospital. I don't know. I feel like Ethan is more of the love choice, and everyone else is just, I don't know, supplemental, I guess. I don't know. After some last-minute organizing and a 3-hour drive, you, Ethan, June, and Baz arrive at a beautiful, snow-blanketed ski resort nestled halfway up Dagger Mountain. Ah, rich people. Here we are. Wow. Please tell me there's a mustached little man in there solving crimes. Baz, we're the mustached little man. You unpack the portable test equipment and head inside, where a man is waiting in the lodge-style lobby. He greets Ethan with a warm handshake. Ethan, thanks for coming up on such short notice. Happy to help, Rodney. Team, this is Rodney Marsh. Rodney, meet the team. Ethan introduces each of you in turn. When he reaches you, you step forward and shake the hotel owner's hand. And so, Rodney, how long have you known Ethan? Ethan used to come up here pretty often when he was in high school, so 20 years now. Are we about to get a delightfully young Ethan story? You're not. Honestly, Ethan hasn't changed a bit. Only kid I ever knew who brought his schoolwork on vacation with him. But enough about that. You're here to help Paula, this woman who had a skiing accident. She's here with her son, Timothy. What the hell do you need a diagnostics team for, then? Rodney leads you upstairs. A woman lies in a bed in one of the lodge rooms with an ice pack on her head. A teenage boy sits beside her, a worried frown on his face. Tell us about the accident, Paula. I just had to sit there in silence for a minute because, one, her face, two, just ... Mom, please. You have to talk to them. Fine, yeah, I had an accident, fell down, big whoop. Went out early so we could watch the sunrise. Mom hit a hard patch of ice. She hit her head pretty bad against a tree. Went out on a... Did she keep sliding towards the tree? Jesus. Did the local doctor check you for concussion, Paula? Sure, but other than that, he was useless. Didn't do a damn thing about my headache. And he had no idea whatsoever about the rash. What rash? And where is it located? Paula begrudgingly pulls her shirt aside and shows an extensive, angry rash covering her neck and shoulder. Question 1. Did the rash come before or after the slide/hit? Blistering around the edges. That must be painful. Are those the only symptoms? Isn't this written all down from the last doctor? We'd prefer to hear from you, not secondhand. Sorry, Mom doesn't like doctors. Just tell them, Mom. Paula sighs. You notice that she's a little out of breath as she speaks. Fine, honey, can you give me some more tea? He takes Paula's empty mug and heads out, clearly happy to be helping. Paula looks to you, her animosity slightly receding. There's nothing else to tell. I told Redney I'd be fine with a bit of rest, but he had to make a fuss. You look around the room as she's talking and notice a pile of bloodied tissues in the wastebasket. Did you break any skin during your accident, Paula? Paula follows your gaze to the wastebasket. I have a few scrapes, but that's not what those are from. I've had a couple of nosebleeds since the accident. Okay. Are you prone to nosebleeds? When I was a kid, sure. Haven't had one in years, though. If I didn't know any better, I think she had altitude sickness. We're only 3,000 feet above sea level. Nobody else has ever had altitude sickness here. Besides, it wouldn't explain the rash. Paula, are you taking any medication we should know about? Prescription? No, just ibuprofen for the headache. And Rodney gave me some cortisone cream for the rash. Ibuprofen for a headache. No. No. Why would you Who gave you the ibuprofen? Seriously. Like, typically you want to do acetaminophen and aspirin, or just, some combination of that. Ibuprofen for a headache. Okay, moving on. Interesting. All things considered, we can't rule out a concussion or contusion. You're right not to move her, Rodney. The rash could be a separate issue caused by something Paula encountered on the mountain. Where were you when you crashed, Paula? Just then, Timothy returns with a steaming mug of tea. You catch a strong smell of lemon and honey. We were skiing the old Serpentine Trail. We were looking at Thinking Rock when Mom slid. The Thinking Rock? It's a rock shaped like an old man, deep in thought. It's a big draw. The pictogram crowd love it. I'd like to look around the area. Well, then you'll have to ski to it, but you'll have to move fast. Snow's coming in the evening. It'll probably wipe out anything you're looking for. That's our first priority. I know the trails around here, but Rodney, perhaps you can serve as a guide. Gladly. I'll kit you up. You all run any tests you can think of. We'll be back as soon as we can. You're on tests, says Timothy, waits anxiously by his mother's bedside. He returns an hour or so later. His nose and cheeks are pink from the cold. Wow, we didn't get to go with him. The rash was caused by poisoned sumac. There was a clump of it at the base of the tree Paula crashed into. Brilliant. Case solved, right? No. Could the sumac have triggered her other symptoms? Unlikely. I think Ethan was right. We're dealing with two separate issues. It sounds like you have no idea what you're doing. Listen, Paula, diagnostics do that. They have no clue. It's a scientific process. Sit down and shut up! Paula breaks out into a loud, erratic laughter. You examine her and notice her pupils are slightly dilated. Paula, are you feeling alright? I feel great. Why the heck wouldn't I? I'm stuck on a mountain with a load of incompetent doctors. She laughs again, shockingly loudly. And for too long. You look to your colleagues and find them equally concerned. Ethan beckons for the rest of you to follow him outside. It looks like a manic episode, if her brain trauma is extensive enough to cause that. We need to get her to the hospital. Can we call for the helicopter? Doubtful. According to the radio, the storm has been upgraded to a blizzard, and it's due to hit in the next 15 minutes. The roads up the mountain are already closed off. And we're stuck here. We'll have to monitor Paul all night in case her condition worsens. I'll take the first shift. Someone can relieve me in a few hours. After you've gotten yourself settled in the room, you swing by the lounge's bar. June sits at the bar with a medical journal open in front of her, and Baz contentedly makes a s'mores by the fireplace. You slide on the stool beside June and order a drink. She glances up from her journal. I haven't had a real chance to speak with you alone since you came back from the attack. How have you been? It's been really tough, honestly, but I think I'm finally doing better. What about the business with Esme? How are you feeling about it? I feel guilty. I saw how attached she was to her patient. I should have realized it had the potential to cloud her judgment or distract her, or I don't know. I just know I should have been there. It just blows my mind how such a tiny mistake can lead to so much devastation. Every effect has a cause. If you look at the larger picture, you'll find that every tiny, even tiny mistakes have their own origins. So you're saying this started with me? Not necessarily, but something made her screw up, and you can't be sure it won't happen again until you find out what it was. It's when we suggested to do the right thing. The bartender sets your drink in front of you. June goes back to her journals. You sit, lost in your thought, while the storm rages outside. Later, you see Ethan exiting Paula's room just as Baz heads in to take the next shift. Paula showing any improvement? Actually, she seems to have swung in the opposite direction enough to classify it as a depressive episode. Presumably the injury is causing it. Swallow your reply as you see Timothy hurrying up the stairs with tea and cookies on a tray. With a nod of greeting, he disappears into his mom's room. Ethan follows your gaze. He hasn't left Paula's side for a second. They almost remind me of you and your mom. Ethan doesn't say anything, just gestures for you to follow him. Your footsteps sound loud in the empty halls. He opens his door to his room and turns to you. Ethan, did you take this case so you had a reason to be away from Edenbrook while your mom was there? Yes. I'd rather continue this discussion somewhere more private. Ethan holds open the door in the suite for Rodney's put him in. Inside, he fills 2 glasses with a little bottles of scotch from the minibar. Holding one out to you, he takes a long sip of his drink. The thing is, I don't know what I'll do if I see her again. What do you mean? I'm not a child anymore. I have no need of a mother, let alone one who abandoned me. But there was a time I'd done anything for, and I'm afraid that if I hear her out, I'll lose all rational capability and let her back into my life. Wow, Ethan is more like me every single time he opens his mouth than I thought. Wait till the end of the video. Would that be so bad? My mother was always a whirlwind. And you were there in the ER. She's an addict. That complicates things even further. To be a good doctor, I need to stay calm, rational, and disengaged. My mother would threaten that. The wind rattles the window panes as you step closer to Ethan. Does that apply to everyone? The anguish melts from his blue eyes and is replaced by something sweeter, something hungrier. I've never been rational around you, Casey. Outside, the wind rises to a sudden fierce howl. Even with the heat blasting in the room, you can feel its icy chill through the window. Ethan turns to the window, contemplative. When I was very young, there was a storm like this. The snow was so heavy it broke the power lines. I stayed up all night, terrified of the dark in the room, the snow mounting outside the windows. Nothing worse than being alone in a storm. No, I can give you a few lists of things worse if you'd like. Ethan nods, taking a step closer to you. You can see the slight flush on his cheeks. Stay with me tonight, Casey. Scared to be alone in the storm? Why would I want to be alone when I could be with the woman I spend every night longing for? Shelter from the storm in Ethan's arms. Stay the night with me, Casey. Make the chill go away. I don't know if we've ever had a night like this, so far away from all the daily pressure of Edinburgh. I know, it's almost like we can be like normal people. Normal people. What's that like? Ethan looks on the desk and finds a tin of carnival corn. He opens it and offers it to you. Caramel corn. Is that like candy corn? Fairly sure it involves drinking beer and eating popcorn. Ah, no, it's just caramel popcorn. That's what we call it here. Right, in the penthouse suite at a high-end ski resort. Well, maybe plus... maybe normal plus. Crunch down on a handful of sweet popcorn. What do you think we should, it would be like for us if we, were just normal? You mean if we'd met some other way, if I wasn't your boss? If we weren't doctors at all, if we were just different people entirely, who would you be? He pulls you down onto the couch, and you lean back into his chest as he pretends to consider. Well, I used to want to be a detective. I think you knew that, so maybe I would be a hard-bitten Boston detective, and one day you'd walk in with a problem that the law couldn't help you with. I haven't seen too many of those movies, but I'm not sure that sounds any less complicated than what we have already. You have a point. So, who would you be if you could create a different life for yourself? I'd be... President. Shut up, I've thought about being one. A veterinarian. That's cheating! That's just another kind of doctor! Oh yeah, how would you want to be diagnosing a sick chihuahua? You smile at Ethan, feeling your constant sense of life or death urgency start to release its hold. This is fun, like playing make-believe. If you ever tell anyone, I'll kill you. But think of the puppies. How will they survive if you kill their vet? You're really enjoying this fantasy, aren't you? You seem like someone who needs a little more fantasy in their life. Perhaps you're right, but you're not using this to escape what you went through, the aftermath of the attack. Thanks for reminding us, Ethan. I promise I'm not. It's not something you can just get out and over in a day, but I'm taking things as they come, and right now spending the time with you in the middle of a blizzard, imagining different lives, feels like exactly what I should be doing. He turns to you, and you're instantly aware of how close you are. From this distance, you can see flecks of green in the blue of his eyes. You lean in Ethan's arms, meeting his lips with yours. You can taste the scotch on his tongue as his mouth opens yours. Still in a fantasy? If we are, I don't want it to end. Well, in that case, you kiss him again, just because you can. Because finally, you're alone in a beautiful place with nothing to stop you from giving in to the urges you've been fighting for so long. You are drawn almost magnetically towards your lips, meeting Ethan's in a kiss that starts off hesitant, but quickly builds. The wind moans outside, icy tree branches rattling as your mouths open to one another. For once, there is no hurry, no sense of urgency. You have all night. I'm glad we're here, Casey. Me too. It's making me realize how rare this is just the two of us. We see each other so often that it's hard to realize how little of it is time alone. Lucky us. All I got sick somewhere so pretty. Lucky us the storm conspired to keep us here. The lights around the hotel are blanketed with snow, muting their glow, and the wet snow has drifted several inches high over the ground below. Ethan turns you around so that your back is to him. Taking your shoulders in his large hands, he rubs gently, soothing the tired muscles. I want to make the most of our night together. I want to make this last all night. The forecast said the storm would last at least 6 hours. Let's try to use every single one of them. You walk over to the bed, lying down luxuriously against the down quilt as you slowly peel off layers of clothing. Teasingly, you bare each new inch of skin, tracing it with fingers. Ethan's eyes never leave you. Now you pull him down next to you as you unbutton his shirt, kissing every new stretch of exposed skin. By the time he's bare to the waist, Ethan is panting, and you can feel his heart pounding against your lips. God, Casey, I can't imagine how incredible that feels. You straddle his lap, hovering teasingly above him until he pulls you hard against him. Your breasts brush against the bare skin of his chest, the heat between you feverish compared to the chill from outside. I'm just getting started. Running one strong hand up your thigh, he nudges your legs open, his finger slipping under the edge of your underwear. Holding your legs wide, he lowers his face between them, driving you crazy with short, hard flicks of his tongue. As you writhe and moan, his hand matches the movement of his mouth, sending you to still greater heights. Before your shudders subside, he moves up the bed in a single movement, covering you with his body as his mouth takes yours. All restraint gone, he surges against you again and again as you open to him, wrapping your legs around him tightly, pulling him closer. Pleasure explodes through your entire body at the same moment as Ethan, overtaken by his ecstasy, collapses on top of you as you run your hands through his hair, your breathing gradually slowing as sweat dries on your skin. You lie together in a comfortable silence for a long time and watch the snowflakes swirl furiously outside the window. That was different. I know it happened before, but I agree, but different in a good way. He grazes his thumb across your cheekbone, gazing softly at your face from beneath lowered eyelids. Is this what you want, Casey? I want more nights like tonight. Whatever is going on between us, I don't want it to stop. I feel the same way. He runs his hands up and down your arms, sending sweet shivers across your skin. We'll have to be careful, especially around June and Baz. You mean no making eyes at each other across the gurney? No sneaking hand-holding beneath the diagnostic room table? In what world would that be happening anyway? So that part isn't subject to make-believe. My personality? No, I don't think so. You turn and nuzzle against his neck, preparing kisses across his collarbone. Then I'll have to enjoy the moments when no one else is there to see us. I'd like that. He sighs heavily, a mix of contentment and something more somber. I meant what I said at the start of the year. I won't jeopardize your professional development or your reputation. I don't want you to suffer either, so when we're at work, we're nothing but colleagues. Exactly. And when we're alone, we're whatever we want to be. You press your lips to his, he strokes your chins, he deepens the kiss, pressing his body hard against yours. You don't seem tired. I'm not. Remember, you're supposed to make this up for 6 hours. Let's go! You laugh and roll on top of him, kissing him, long and slow. The storm rages outside as your passion reignites. Next morning, you and the others go to Paula's room and find June finishing her shift. How is she? Not good. She's running a fever of 103. Her heart rate has been at 110 beats per minute for the past hour.
Psst! Hey! Psst, June! It's the tea!
Hurts to breathe. Her symptoms really do seem more consistent with a high altitude cerebral edema than head trauma, but that doesn't make sense. Heart rates climb to 115. Forget what makes sense. We need to get her back to sea level and see if it helps her. The storm looks like it's passed. I'll call the helicopter.
T!
Within the hour, you, June, and Ethan touch down on the helipad with Paula and Timothy. The paramedics help you unload the gurney from the chopper. Before long, you have Paula settled in, connected to an IV and a heart monitor. Heart rate's down to 86 beats per minute, body temp at 100 degrees. It seems like getting her to sea level reversed her symptoms. I guess we should proceed as though this is altitude sickness, regardless of how implausible it seems. I'll order some dexamycin. You look around the room and realize Timothy isn't here. He'll want to know his mom's doing better. I should probably track him down. You find Timothy in the corridor outside, his face crumpled like he's trying not to cry. What's wrong with her? Is my mom gonna be okay? Stay confident. Your mom is just gonna be fine. She's already doing better, and we can do so much more for her now that she's at the hospital. But she hates hospitals. She's gonna be mad that we brought her here. I promise that we'll be mindful of her concerns. We need to run some tests, but we won't hurt her. A tear slides down Timothy's cheek. He brushes it away, blinking savagely. Your heart aches for him. Have you slept at all since the accident? I couldn't. Come on, I'll show you a room where you can grab an hour or two of sleep while we get your mom settled. But Timothy, you've done an amazing job looking after your mom, but now you need to look after yourself, okay? Okay. After you get Timothy settled and changed in the locker room, you head downstairs to find Zaid for an update on Esme. I'm here, I can do the surgery, don't... You're half an hour late, Dr. Garcia has already scrubbed in and begun. I expected better from you, LaHaley. Don't be late to surgery, dude. Bryce kicks a gurney as Dr. Tanaka walks away. Damn it. Kiki just lost me my hemicoroctobop.
Listen, it's a very long word.
How exactly did she do that? She got into a fight at the school I enrolled her in. The principal called me to come pick her up, and he wouldn't let me send anyone else to come get her. Where's Kiki now? In the car. I told her to wait for me. You were going to keep her in the car for your entire surgery. I wasn't. I don't know. In fact, I don't know what to do with that kid. I wish she'd just go home. Bryce, it is a lot for you to deal with. You shouldn't have to make up for your parents' mistakes. Damn straight I shouldn't. So, what? I'm a mistake now? I mean, he just did literally screw up a medical paper, as well as a once-in-a-lifetime medical procedure, because of you having a fight at school, so yes, you are a mistake right now. You and Bryce turn to see Kiki standing in the hall with tears in her eyes. Kiki, Before he can say anything more, Kiki turns and runs for the elevator, sliding in just before the door closes. Kiki! You and Bryce bolt towards the stairs, sprinting down them into the atrium. Way ahead of you, Kiki easily weaves through the crowded atrium and flees from the hospital. Kiki, slow down! Yeah, that'll teach her. You and Bryce make it out of the hospital, but you can't see her anywhere in the parking lot. Suddenly, Bryce's car squeals out of its box. You see Kiki behind the wheel. Kiki, stop! You could hurt yourself! Or someone else. Swerving over the wet asphalt, the car turns into the street and speeds away. Oh my god, what have I done? I need to go after her. For Bryce, I can't imagine how stressful this can be. Oh, for the love of Christ! Help Bryce track down Kiki and resolve the tension between the two siblings. Because right now we don't have patience to take care of. No offense, but this is stupid and someone else's burden shouldn't be ours in this exact moment that we're taking care of patients. She's not going to just keep driving, right? Probably not, she's upset, but stupid. Or not stupid. She'll go someplace, maybe back to my apartment. Not if she's trying to get away from you. Damn, you're right. We need to think like an upset 15-year-old in a city she doesn't know that well. Can you tell me any places she really likes?
There's a bunch of places. We've been back to the mall a bunch of times since the day you came out. That theme park on the outside of town, the big park near my place.
It's freezing out, so we can probably rule out anything outside. The mall is out in the suburbs. She probably wouldn't go that far.
She really likes the library, but it's close to the school, and I doubt she'd go back there, but... Oh! The planetarium.
When did you guys visit the planetarium?
They were doing a special presentation of Interstellar. She loves that movie. She was really excited and getting into the exhibits.
Best lead we've got so far. Let's get going. They race across the parking lot, arm race to hail a cab. The planetarium is quiet and cozy with a few visitors milling between exhibits. She has to be here somewhere. Your car was parked up front.
We should try the theater.
You find Kiki in one of the theater's reclined seats, staring up at the swirling nebula. Her face is puffy from crying. Poor kid.
Kiki?
What are you doing here? How'd you even find me?
Because you're predictable 15-year-old.
Believe it or not, your brother actually knows you pretty well, Kiki.
She sniffs, but you can see hope in her eyes. We need to talk about what you overheard me say, and the whole stealing a car and driving without a license thing.
I'm surprised you didn't call the cops on me. Sending me to juvie would be way easy to get rid of me.
You wouldn't have gone to juvie.
Kiki, what were you thinking stealing a car? I wasn't thinking. I just wanted to get away and I had keys, so... But you could have hurt someone. You could have been killed.
I was so worried about you.
I'm sorry, I've had the worst freaking day. What was the fight at the school about? A boy in my class was trying to get me to add him on social media. When I said I wasn't on any, he called me a liar, so he looked me up and all those old articles about mom and dad came up.
Oh man.
He sent them to everyone, and called me a jail baby, so I broke his nose. Oh, you were called a jail baby. Oh no, whatever shall we do? No offense, but bullies are shit, but don't stoop to the level and do two wrongs and make a right. Stop it, people! Stop! Think about shit before you do it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Good.
You could have really hurt that kid. That was the point.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, I mean really hurt him. Heads are fragile. People have died from a single punch to the head or nose.
She's right, Kiki. You're lucky he's not pressing charges.
I'm sorry. I didn't even realize what I was doing until I was doing it. I was just so mad.
Why didn't you tell me that when I picked you up?
Because I didn't want you to think I'm any more of a pain in the butt than you already think I am.
I don't think you're a pain in the butt.
But you've been stressing out over me for weeks. What do you mean? I've seen you making those spreadsheets on your computer. You've been budgeting for me, and you've been hovering over me while I do my homework every night, and you learned to cook for me, and...
I was trying to be the kind of parent I wish we'd gotten to grow up with.
But, Bryce, you're not Kiki's parent, you're a brother. She knows that. Definitely, and you're already a million times better than any big brother than mom or dad are at being parents.
That's not exactly a high bar.
Even if it was way higher, you'd win. Bryce wraps his arms around Kiki. Okay, I guess.
I want you here, Kiki, and I'm gonna figure out how to help you, I promise.
Letting me change my last name would help.
If I was legally allowed to approve that for you, I would, but since I can't, what do you say to a hot chocolate on me?
I guess that's a pretty good runner-up. You smile proudly at Bryce as he helps Kiki out of her chair. Together, the three of you head back out of the planetarium to the parking lot. Kiki walks ahead, looking like she's had a weight taken off of her shoulders. Bryce looks at you relieved.
That went a lot better than I thought it would.
You rest your hand on Bryce's shoulder and squeeze. I'm proud of you, Bryce.
Thanks. I seem to get better at this when you're around.
Well, you have always liked an audience.
True.
You both jump at Bryce's car, roars to life. Bryce pelts to the car.
Kiki, what the...
Gotcha! She slides out of the driver's seat with a grin. So not funny, little felon. I think they're gonna be okay now. His career won't. A few hours later, you bring the results of Paula's blood work to Ethan. He raises his eyebrows as he studies them. I'm assuming you noticed. Lithium, yes. I think we should talk to Timothy. You call Timothy out of his mom's room and take him to an empty waiting room. What's up? Is something wrong? Timothy, your mom told us she wasn't on any prescription medicine. Was she lying? It's okay if she was. We're just trying to help her. She wasn't lying. She just doesn't know what she takes. You and Ethan lock eyes over his bowed head, and in a flash it all clicks into place. Timothy, your mom's blood showed traces of lithium, which is used in mood stabilizers. Have you been dosing your mom with them?
I told you to check the tea, but you didn't check the tea, you dumbass!
Yeah.
Mood swings, your mother has a bipolar disorder, doesn't she?
I think so, but she wouldn't get help. She hates doctors. She wouldn't agree to see one, even when her mood swings got really, really bad. She said being moody was normal for some people.
Hey, it's my mom.
I tried going to a doctor myself, but they wouldn't prescribe anything without seeing her, so I paid a bipolar kid at school to split his meds with me. I told her they were vitamins. It was the only way to get her any help. It's not illegal, is it? I mean, it worked. Things have been so much better since I started doing it. She's a great mom now. She never freaks out on me or stays up until 5 a.m. or cries at the breakfast table. Regardless of the legality, this is a very big deal. Medicating someone without their consent is not okay.
I know you were trying to help, but Dr. Valentine is right. You could have seriously hurt your mother.
But her mood swings have nothing to do with what's wrong with her. Actually, they have everything to do with what's wrong with her. Your mom only suffered a light head injury from the accident. She should have just had a headache and a rash from the poisoned sumac. But when she took ibuprofen with her headache, it reacted poorly with the lithium in her pills. She began a terrible chain effect.
Her body is delicate that way. One thing goes wrong, everything else can go wrong in turn. Also taking ibuprofen for a headache just blows my mind, but I'm moving on.
The increased lithium led to hypothyroidism, which caused low hemoglobin, which then causes altitude sickness, which made her headaches worse, which made her take more ibuprofen. So, this is my fault? I didn't know what else to do. Will she be okay? Please tell me she'll be okay.
Timothy breaks down, tears dripping down his cheeks. You go to reassure him, but Ethan gets there first, laying a gentle hand on the teenage boy's shoulder. She's gonna be okay, Timothy, this time. But this could have gone another way. You need to understand that.
Will you have to tell anyone what happened? I mean, what I did? Timothy, I think you should come clean with her. Me? But she'll be mad.
Yeah, she'll be mad. And then she'll get over it.
Not if you tell her what you just told us. What you did was very wrong, but it's clear that if your mom took this more seriously herself, we wouldn't be here. Realizing what you were willing to do, I think it might finally convince her. Maybe you're right. Anyway, I think she'd rather hear it from me than a couple of doctors. We'll be right behind you in case you need any help.
He nods, wipes his face, and marches into the corridor. Ethan stops you as you go to follow him. Can you handle this on your own for a little while?
Sure. Where will you be?
Where do you think he's gonna go? I need to stop by Louisa's room. I have to try and help her. After all, she's my mom.
I'm proud of you, Ethan.
Ethan's hand brushes against yours and lingers there for a briefest moment. He leans close, his voice a tickle against your ear. Thank you. Oh, come on, I wanted to see what happened with Timothy. Come on now.
Later that day, you, Sienna, and Jackie clock out and head for the exit. When you hurry over to meet them, you see they're unusually quiet. What's up, Sienna?
Mitch quit this afternoon.
I don't blame him. What, because of the puddle thing?
I guess so.
Man, what a crappy couple of days for the interns. You look over and see Declan Nash walking with a small group of masked Kenmore doctors through the atrium. One of the benefits of partnership with Edenbrook is, of course, their exclusive deal with Panacea Labs.
That must be some of the mass Kenmore's brought board. Kara said they'd organize some meetings.
I can't believe Declan is trying his hooks in them already. Declan splits off from the group and heads your way. Declan, seeing you makes me feel like I need a shower. From the smell of you, Valentine, I'm guessing specific need has nothing to do with me.
Grow up.
What are you sniffing around the masked Kenmore doctors for anyway, Nash? Ensuring Valentine's latest murder doesn't derail the merger, naturally. Can you imagine the bonus I'll get if I can say Panacea has expanded their exclusive contract to cover both Boston's biggest hospitals? Try not to murder the man. Try not to murder the man. It'll be the talk of the convention at Las Vegas this week. They might even promote me on the spot. He chuckles and goes on his way, and just gave you the clue of what to do to this prick. But instead of finding her upset, she starts laughing. Oh my god, oh my god. What's happening? Are you still with us? Definitely. In fact, I think I just figured out how I can make things right. Will Jackie be able to make things right after all, or will Declan be the toast to Vegas? Keep playing to find out. Well, what do you think? So, before I get to my small thing, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down description below, links to social media, Discord, and if you'd like to support me and my content. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get to what I have to say. So, my mother. Oh, I'm gonna try and do this as TLDR as quickly and humanly as possible. My mother. When I was a kid, I worshipped the ground my mother walked on because I never got to see my mother. My mother was never there. She left me with my grandparents, and that is a conversation for another time, but every time my mother would come into town, which would be about once a month, I would relish the idea. She was far better than my grandparents. And I worship the ground my mother walked on because she wouldn't do anything that my grandparents would do to me. When I was 16 years old, I finally couldn't take it anymore, and I got away from my grandparents, even if it meant being homeless. And finally, stumbling upon my mother and her saying, hey, come with me. And I basically moved in with her, and it was a chaotic, drama-infested mess with her and the guy she was with. Basically, I ended up quickly seeing that he was an abusive piece of crap in every single way, except for some of the ways my grandfather was until later in my life when my brother was born, and quickly finding out that, yes, he was just like my grandfather. My mother ended up going back to my grandparents, and I had a choice to make. My choice was to see if I wanted to go on with my life. I had a free ride to college. I had someone I was seeing if I could find a way to love again and things like that, and what I could do with my life. Or I would stay by my brothers. By staying by my brother, at the time my other one wasn't born, I had to give up a choice. I had to give up the rest of my life. At the time, I didn't think it would be that long. I thought, if I just stood by him and made sure people knew that I would always be there and around my baby brother, that, nothing would ever happen to him. And everything was a constant daily battle. Every day, I had to protect him. Every day, I had to make sure the wolves were at bay, because I had to be the shepherd. And lo and behold, ended up having a second brother a year later, and it's now 17 years from protecting them. I've had to protect them not just from their stepfather, who luckily died of a brain aneurysm, because he was, like I said, everything my grandfather was. Luckily, karma, life, God, whoever you want to believe in, took him. But I still had to protect my brother. Or brothers. And I've had to be there for them ever since, even now. Long story short, my mother is not the greatest thing you could look for in the world. She's not the worst thing you could look for in the world. So that's why I said, me and Ethan have a lot in common. Pretty much I am the father, I'm the brother, I am the caretaker, I am the 12 to 16 hour minimum a day person there who is everything for them that needs to be. You know? And it's one of the reasons why I started my channel in the first place. You know, first it was, you know, trying to help them out or trying to get messages across or activism or things like that, and ended up being everything I've done now and trying to do more. And that's one of the reasons why at the end of the videos I usually will sit and talk about things like this, and usually on my streams I will sit and talk about things if people wish to hear about it. There are so many things that I wish to change in this world and bring for the betterment of not just myself, my brothers, but a lot of people, regardless of race or gender. And I will continue to do that until I take my last breath, because I feel like that's the only thing I can do left in this world. So that's why I aim to make a difference, or at least make people smile and laugh each and every single day at the very least. Because happiness, at the very least, is free, and it helps people, you know? So thanks for watching. Catch y'all later. Peace.